Hey guys, before we start the episode, I just want to say shout out to our sponsors, Rain Capital. If you're looking to buy your first home or you're looking to refinance your current existing one, make sure to give them a call. There's a link down below. Let them know you came from the podcast. Now let's get to it.
Welcome back to the Curious Canvas. We are your hosts, Jem and PK. Today's episode, we will be talking a little bit about Dune, but we are featuring a special guest today. Jem, would you like to introduce him?
Yeah, it's my boy Jack Van Vliet. And from Picture Parasites. Follow them on Instagram.
Instagram.
Just Instagram.
It's just Instagram. You can follow me on Letterboxd as well.
And at Bloom Sid. Wait, what's Letterboxd?
Oh, it's a app for tracking films you watch, I suppose. So it's like a film database, and it's like a social connected database. So people come on and they like rate movies and do like little one-line reviews or big reviews, stuff like that.
PK, you gotta sign us up. Curious Canvas. Bro. Come on.
It's on the list now. It's on the list now. Actually, yeah, sorry. You've actually just got back from Japan, haven't you?
Yeah, 2 weeks ago.
How'd you like it? Because I went there last year, and I think Jem's going very soon too, right?
Yeah. This week. Can't wait. Oh, and not this week, in a few weeks, but I'll be there.
Nice.
Yeah,
nice.
It was sick. It was my second time going, actually. I went a couple of years ago as well. I was only there for a week, but we're playing some shows over there, and it like kind of felt like I was there for way longer. I felt like I was there for like a month when I came back. I finished a book like on the plane as well. So it's like all these like things happened that were like really big events. So it felt like I was there for a long time, even though I was only there for like a week.
Oh, okay, that's dope. What's something that you reckon that that popped out in Japan that you think that might work here?
What do you mean?
I'll just give an example, because you know how like there's some things that like you probably could bring over to Australia, but there's some things in Australia you couldn't bring over there. Just for example, like I know we do have this here, but when you're on a train in Japan, if you're like talking loudly and everything, it's considered rude. So everyone's super quiet on the train, right?
Yeah.
I think that'd be amazing if we brought that here, because after like like especially Jem, because you go to the city a lot. Imagine you rocking a train back home and it's just quiet and you could chill.
That's kind of hard to implement though, because that's a cultural thing rather than a physical thing to introduce. So it's like you'd have to change like the whole mindset.
Yeah, because we do have that. I think like on a
quiet carriages and stuff.
But then those, you know what? I only found out about a quiet carriage, I think, when I got back from Japan, and then someone told me, like, we do have that here. I'm like, do we?
Yeah, I told you that. I was the one that told you that.
Yeah, and I'm like, no, there isn't. And he's just like, no, there is. Is it actually quiet though?
Yeah, no, it's quiet.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. I had never been on a quiet carriage in Australia.
No, they are quiet. They are quiet.
It's like the thing I would bring back. Yeah, the thing I'd bring back though, like without a shadow of a doubt, is the bidet toilet seats.
Oh, yes.
Like we're in the Stone Ages, bro, using toilet paper. Like, get it out. Give me the heated seat bidet. It's unstoppable. It's so good.
And it's everywhere there, yeah.
Yeah, like public toilets, like all the public restrooms, all super clean. They all have the.
They must think that
futuristic toilet.
They must think that Western people are dirty. Using toilet paper.
Yeah, facts. I'm not gonna lie though. So when my first day there, because I dropped all my luggage, off at the hotel, and then I went out and I went to go grab food. I had to go bathroom while I was in the restaurant. I didn't know how to use the bidet. I was like lost, and like I was just like trying to like, what's happening here? What's happening?
Yeah,
definitely that would be something to bring here.
Yeah, I would love that if that was in every toilet. I really would.
You didn't try and leave your winky in front of it, did you?
No.
PK.
No, I didn't. No,
because you didn't know how to use it. You didn't try and like just leave your winky and your nuts in front of it, yeah.
This guy, he's gonna go like his first day there. He's just gonna sit on the toilet for an hour, just like this feels good. But okay, so to get straight into it though, our review will be Dune Part 2, starring Timothee Chalamet, Josh Brolin, Austin Butler, and Zendaya. And there's a whole lot more. Oh, and Batista. We can't forget Batista.
The boy.
Have you guys seen it?
Yeah. I was. Oh shit! Hold up, let me fix my camera.
It's one of our
Okay, I'm back.
yeah. Yeah, we had to watch it because it's one of our movies at work. Wait.
Oh yeah.
Wait, let me say that again. Yeah. We promoted it and watched it. Yes.
I watched it in IMAX on like the first Saturday that it was out. I read the books in high school, and I've reread the first one a few times. Like I've always loved the series, so like when this was coming out, it was like I need to watch it IMAX first week, no question about it.
I'm glad you read the books because when we were talking about this beforehand, like trying to like figure out like obviously the movie and everything. It was hard. It was hard for us to pronounce all the words. Like House of Atreides. Is it Atreides? No.
Atreides, I think.
Atreides.
Yeah, right there. See, right
there. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's hard to break down the whole movie altogether. So many things happen.
Yeah. The book is like kind of like it's not really long in terms of sci-fi fantasy books. Generally, they're always 700 to 1,000 pages long most of the time. I think Dune is 500-ish, but it's so dense. It's so like densely layered throughout the entire thing. It feels like it's still 1,000 pages because there's so many terms and names and planets and world building and stuff, and they just kind of throw you in it.
But that's kind of how it felt in the movie as well while you're watching it. So many layers and how dense it was. There's so many things.
Yeah.
Especially the first movie. The first movie was it was like it's a slow process in the first movie. And you are right, there are so many layers because it sets up everything for part 2. It makes part 2 epic.
Yeah, I really want to watch the first one again because like even watching the second one, there were so many moments that were called back to from the first movie that were very clear. In the first one, when Paul is he sees the harvester for the first time and the worms coming at him, and he gets the spice in his face, and there's that like trippy vision of everything that's happening, and he whispers like, I recognize your footsteps, old man, or something like that. And in the second movie, when he's at the spice harvester and he sees Gurney again, that's like what he says to Gurney at the spice harvester in the second movie. So it's like they were already setting up like a kind of a trivial moment in the first one that seems like out of context, but they're replaying it again. It's wild.
Yeah, see, this is why we brought you.
This
is why we brought you. We brought the big guns out.
Yeah, exactly. There's another shot as well that was in the first one, a lot of like Paul doing like a kill, and he like twists in front of the camera and is like holding a knife a certain way, and the like helmet comes up, and that shot is done the exact same way in the second one, but instead of Paul, it's Chani, Zendaya's character, doing it, but it's like the same framing and everything. There's just so much like, I guess the whole movie's about prophecy and things like that, so it would make sense to
bring it back and forth.
Yeah.
Wait, is it Chani or Johnny? Because I got confused with that. Is it Chani or Johnny? I mean,
I think it's Chani.
Yeah, every time he screamed the name, I was just like, Johnny. It wasn't clicking with me. Johnny.
Yeah, Chani. I'm pretty sure it's Chani.
No, I think like, when we're reading it, I'm like, it's Chani. But then when I'm saying it out, when I was hearing the movie, I was like, is it Chani or Johnny?
It's always funny. Sorry, from on that as well, like the what are all the names? Because I read it first. It's a lot of times in like science fiction and fantasy where you read a weird name and you just kind of go like blah, 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 when you go over it. So when they pronounce like Bene Gesserit in the movie, in my head, that's always been like Bean Gesserit. And that's it. You know? So it's like I'm relearning how to pronounce the words because I never look at the pronunciation or anything. It's just what it is in my head.
Yeah.
So you've read the books. Question here, because I never read the books, but is it actually like book 1, book 2, then book 3, or is it like one giant book and they've just kind of cut it into pieces?
No, this one's definitely Dune. This is the one book, and it's gone part 1 and 2. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the first book. The movies that are out now is the first book, and they just cut it in half from where the logical point to cut it off is, I suppose. But they do make some changes because in the book there's a time jump in the cutoff, and in the movie there kind of isn't. Like from the beginning of June 2 to like the halfway point, it's probably like a couple of months, I would assume, in movie time for them to like develop all their relationships with everyone. But in the book, I think it's 2 or 3 years, and like it changes some parts of the story. But there is like a skip to adapt it from with part 1 and part 2. And then the third, they're planning to do the next book, which is Dune Messiah, and that is just one book. But I don't know if they might just split that one too. I don't know what they're gonna do.
But you know what's crazy? You know how like they haven't actually. I don't know if they've done it now, but like when Dune Part 2 came out, I think the first week, they never confirmed it yet for number 3. But you kind of knew it was gonna happen. Like Dune Part 2 was breaking records. You knew this like was gonna be green light like instantly.
Yeah. I think also he always wanted to. I don't know if this is a quote or if this is just like something I get off vibe, but I think that he always wanted to do Dune Messiah as well as the first book. So he's probably like, thank God they went well, and we don't need to stop at the first book.
But the next books, have you read all the other ones?
Yeah, I have.
Doesn't it get weird?
Yeah, it's like really weird.
Yeah, but are they gonna be able to make it into a movie?
So this is what's kind of funny with how Dune has been received so far, because I've seen a lot of like tweets and posts and stuff about how like good Dune Messiah is, and I remember reading it in high school and thinking that it was like such a huge step down from the first book. When I read it, I haven't read Dune Messiah in probably like 10 years, I would say. But when I did read it, I was like, this is nowhere near as good as the first one, but it's still good enough, so I'll like keep reading the rest.
It's like Godfather 3 to 1.
Yeah, a little. But I've seen a lot of people saying that it like makes the first book feel a lot better. So maybe it was like me being like too naive to understand its implications and stuff. But then the third and the fourth book like get really wacky.
Yeah.
Like they take it to like the next level.
Because there's gonna be a series coming out on HBO.
Yeah.
About this, yeah. Because when I watched that first one, I go, why didn't they just drag it out and make it a series? Because it feels like there's so many. Because you were saying it's so in depth and it has so much to it that they couldn't just make a series. It felt like.
I think it's
I think the series is more about the Freemans, right? Freemans?
It's like a prequel thing.
Oh, it's a prequel.
Yeah.
Okay. Of the
I
Freeman.
think. Actually, I'm not sure. I think it's a prequel. I think they wanted to make it a movie because of just for the budget. To be honest, like they want to if they're gonna make a Dune movie, they want it to feel like expansive and like huge and like
because I thought
monumental.
I felt like they could have dragged it out and done a Game of Thrones type thing with.
Yeah, no, they definitely could have for sure. But then you would have got like less of the giant set piece, sci-fi space battle stuff, and you would have got more of the like indoors talking about stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
Things. I think also Denis said that the director said that he did storyboards for a Dune movie with his friend when they were like 13 years old or something. So I think because he really wanted to make it, like it was like a win-win kind of thing. Like he's a movie guy, we gotta make him into movies. Yeah.
Did you ever watch the old school movie?
No, I've never watched the old school movie, which is funny as a fan.
Apparently it's I haven't watched it, but I've always heard little quotes about the old school movies, and I heard it was pretty epic. I just never watched it.
Yeah, I really want to watch it now that like it's back in the cultural thought that like it's making me want to watch it. But at around the same time when I was reading the books in high school, I asked one of my friends that had also read the book and watched the movie if I should watch the movie, and he was like, no, it's awful, it'll ruin the book for you. And I was like, okay, I won't watch it.
Okay, no, that's fair. That's actually,
but this is also like another high school thing where it's like you're in high school and everything is like a little more like naive or scathing or whatever. So I just never watched the movie.
No, I get that. That's like the Last Airbender, the animated series, and the Last Airbender, the movie.
Yeah.
Like it
Yeah.
just if you watch the movie first, you're like, I don't want to watch the animated series. It's
Yeah.
trash. But if you
Yeah,
watch it the other way
exactly.
around, you're just like, what did they do to it?
Yeah. 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 It's like that for sure.
So breaking it down though, because you've read the book, what do you think of Timothy Chalamet, like the main characters? I know it's obviously stretching it out from the book, but did you think it was a great representation?
Yeah, I thought all of the acting was like amazing, to be honest. Paul in the book is kind of exactly how you see him on screen. You know?
Oh, okay.
Like he sometimes seems like a little like childish or young or I guess frail's the wrong word, but like inexperienced. You know, like and you can like kind of see it on his face. Like and he feels like that in the book until obviously the turning point where he feels like really strong. Yeah. And I think he did a great job, to be honest. Because he's supposed to kind of feel like a pampered son of a gigantically wealthy family that like control planets.
Yeah.
And I think he does that really well in the first movie. Yeah. And then at the second movie, he's supposed to feel like a scorn, like he's been betrayed by everyone and he wants vengeance and he's going to do what he can to get there. And then like he flips it really nicely as well.
Yeah.
I think he did.
Like
really,
he proves
he
himself really well.
Yeah. And his whole like the way that he says things changes as well. Like in the first one, he's like when he's like raising his voice, it's like a little more like pathetic. And then in the second movie, when he raises his voice, it's like, oh,
I'm the guy.
Like
he's in charge.
Yeah.
Like, I'm that guy.
Like, yeah, exactly. And also Austin Butler is like amazing. I thought he was so good.
He was great. I forgot he was in this movie. Like I knew he was going to be in it, but I didn't actually know what form he was going to be in it. Because I didn't watch the trailer or anything. I just watched it, but loved it. But you know straight away when I saw them fight though, all I kept thinking about, oh shit, it's Wonka versus Elvis.
Yeah. I guess that's the thing that was kind of worrying as well going into the movies, because like both of them are like so kind of
big
online
names now.
Yeah, and it's like you can tell that they've seen an iPhone by their faces. So it's like in the movie, it's like I wonder how they're going to be like in this like new sci-fi world and like, you know, being harsh or being ruthless. But I think it works at the end. They pull it off, really especially Austin Butler. Austin Butler was like fantastic.
He this has been going viral lately. So he actually started copying for this movie. He copied the voice of the Baron actor, Stellan.
The Skarsgård.
Skarsgård. That's it. Yeah. He copied his voice.
Yeah.
So great because they started doing side by side stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at it and I'm like, oh wow, he actually did. I didn't pick that up when I first heard the voice. I was like, I can hear a bit of Elvis still.
Yeah. I had the same thought.
But then going into the movie, I'm like, oh wait, like having them side by side together, you can actually hear it. But when he's by himself, he just stands alone, and I'm like, okay, it doesn't really sound like him. But then, but having it side by side, they do sound alike.
Yeah. Also, like on the Austin Butler thing, like the whole like Getty Prime sequence where it's black and white and on the other planet was really sick too.
Yeah.
Nice little bit of contrast in the middle of the movie.
It was good.
Yeah.
Did he work out for this film, by the way? Because he looked jacked.
Yeah, maybe it's just like maybe you got to be like that if you're working in Hollywood. Like maybe they just maintain a state of semi-jacked so they can just get ripped when they need to.
If they get a role like that, they just jump on HGH.
Yeah.
They can afford it.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
And they get paid and stuff for prep time, so it's like all they're doing is just
eating and then
cut.
HGH.
Yeah.
Eating, HGH, training.
Yeah, exactly.
One of the people who I really like, even though you don't see him as much in this film compared to Dune 1, I loved Batista's acting chops in this.
Because he was such
exactly, but you don't see him like that in other movies. Like in this one,
he's so big and he's a bitch, eh?
He does the childish thing as well, because he's like huge, but like every time he gets something wrong, he like whinges about it. Like he like throws a tantrum. It's fun.
I loved it. What was it when like when the Fremens were like taking over the like blowing up all the spice machines, and then someone tells him that, he just grabs that guy's head and just starts smacking him like.
Yeah.
I was like, oh man, I love Batista.
Yeah, and then Austin Butler comes in and like fucks him up.
Yeah,
Sorry,
and
can I
that's what
curse?
That's
And that's the reason why I love. That's why the reason why I loved Batista in this role, like especially just coming from like the first film.
Yeah, yeah. You can see the frustration really come out in his character.
Did you watch the first one? Right.
Yeah.
Which one do both of you guys like better?
Oh, 2 for sure.
I think when I came out of the movie, I was like, I think I still like the first one a little bit more, but as it's like stewed, I think the second one.
Yeah.
I think I was saying
like-
before how the first one I was watching, but then it's different watching in the theater to here at home. I'm on my phone and I'm like watching. Yeah, it's alright. Like I'm getting it, but then I'm like the boring parts because it was slow. I'll just hop on my phone. But then June Part 2, you were in it. You were watching.
Yeah, there's like no time because everything's
Yeah.
happening.
Yeah, everything's happening. You're there.
Yeah, the best part I think that the movie did that is not really underappreciated, but really the best thing you can do as an adaptation is to get the concept of the book in the movie, and the way that they made they inverted the hero's journey with Paul. So it's like in a normal hero's journey, like in a Luke Skywalker sense, it's like they're wronged, and then there's this like evil force that they're opposing. They gather together all of their friends, they become a team, they rally behind the one hero, and even through all of the adversity, they come and triumph over the evil thing, right? Like that's the hero's journey in a nutshell. But then in Dune, the way that he does it is like he's saying how alluring and destructive like a heroic personality can be to a whole group of people, and how the hero's journey is like a tainted journey most of the time, because Paul hits all the metrics. Like Paul is like betrayed at the beginning, gets a new group of like marginalized or like oppressed peoples from the evil force, which is the Harkonnens. He pulls them all together, becomes a figurehead for them, and then triumphs over the evil force. But the whole time he's pushing everyone to fanaticism. He doesn't know where like the violence is going to stop or where it's going to begin, and it's like turned into this like wildfire thing that he can't control anymore.
Yeah.
And it's all in his name, like it's all behind him, because like he's the hero, and it is on his journey, and it's just like it's inverting that cliched
of when you get all the power, then you have too much power, and then you become the bad guy.
Yeah, exactly. And it inverts the whole concept that like every hero's journey is based on, like the Star Wars thing with Luke Skywalker, like the Marvel superhero formula, like it's all that kind of journey.
What's the quote where they say you live? What's the Batman quote?
Oh, the Batman one?
Yeah, what's the
you
quote?
die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
Yeah, and that's what he's going through.
Yeah. Yeah,
So-
because it's in the end he gets what he came out for. Like he gets the Harkonnens out of the planet. He like becomes the Emperor. He like enables the Fremen to take over their own home planet. Yeah, which are all like in like
What he
another
wanted,
movie
good thing.
would be the good thing. Like they would be the good thing. Like they're all liberated. But like in this, he like sees it like he's unleashing like a plague almost. And it's like there's like, because he's inspired so much violence, he can't control it anymore, and it can't be stopped. And it's like it's a tragic thing rather
And
than
he
an
already
uplifting
saw that.
thing.
He already saw that.
Exactly. And he was trapped.
Yeah,
he was
like,
trapped.
I don't
And
want
the
to
whole
go
time he
down
was trapped
south. He was like, I don't want to go down south. Bro. There's so many people gonna die. And he
and that's like another flip as well, because it's like if you think of like King Arthur, he pulls the sword out of the stone to become king of the Britons and like lead the people to glory or whatever. Yeah. You know, and that's like the prophecy, like that's his destiny. Yeah. And then in this hero's journey, his destiny is horrible, and he doesn't want to be a part of it, but he can't stop it. Yeah. Because that's just where it's going to go. Because it was preordained by all of the Bene Gesserit and stuff generations before, because they were trying to breed this particular person.
Yeah.
You know, it's wild. It's like the whole thing of prophecy
is
and like being a
crazy.
hero, and it's all flipped.
With the prophecy part, so this part I might need to rewatch this part though. So
Mm.
the House of Carino, right? Those guys. So they made up a prophecy for the Fremens. Am I right? Wrong? Right?
Yeah, the Bene Gesserit, or the witches.
Yeah.
The like people that are like the people that control all of the leaders and stuff.
Yeah.
Or Jessica's. Yeah.
So they made up the prophecy to the Fremens, but it ended up
Yeah.
coming true.
Yeah, so they made it up in because like they use like religious subservience as a tool
Yeah.
to like help them control the population, and they've like in the lore of the book they're trying to make Bene Gesserit that is like all powerful, which is like a messiah figure, and when they do make one that they can control and manipulate to give them control of the universe, all of these planets are going to be ready to accept the messiah figure because they've been propagandizing, I don't know if that's a word, like giving them propaganda about the messiah figure for centuries already. So like everything is prepped for their like kind of like hostile takeover of the power structure, but it backfires on them just because Jessica, who's Paul's mum, with Duke,
Yeah.
with Leto, they were supposed to have a girl, and then the girl and Austin Butler's character was supposed to make the Messiah, I think, in the books. But the Duke, Leto, wanted a son, so she was like,
Yeah.
all right, like forget about that.
Yeah.
We'll just have a son because like you're my boy, and I'll make a son. And then it like screwed up all their plans because like Paul just became this. He has all of the calling cards of this messiah figure,
Yeah.
but he's like not under their thumb,
Yeah.
which is what they wanted.
Yeah. How good is it in part 2 when Paul he starts doing all the things that's in the prophecies, and then all the Fremen that especially that one guy, I forget his name.
Oh, yeah, the listener guy you-
have you
It is him.
bought in?
Huh?
Yeah.
He's the one.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. But another thing that's really good about like his character as well is that in the movie he's like taking a kind of comic relief role, but his like character arc is one of the most tragic because when you first see him he's like very noble,
Yep.
very strong, very community based, like he wants the best for his people.
Yeah.
And then throughout the second one you slowly see him just fall victim to all of the propaganda of the Messiah, and he just becomes a fanatic.
Yeah.
rather than like
He full became a
leader.
fanatic.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, and it's crazy how they were able to do it in a way that still seems tragic, but also it's kind of funny because he has a lot of moments where he has comic relief parts.
Yeah.
Bro, he asked someone to marry him in front of his girlfriend. I'm like,
Paul?
that's the biggest heel turn in the world. Like, and Zendaya looking there like, I want to slice your throat.
Yeah. Well, he needed to be emperor.
That's
It's
true.
part of his prophecy.
I want to stretch a question out for both of you guys, whether you're into faith, whether you have energy, whatever. My question here, just because I like stretching things out from movies. So, Jem, because I don't really know you that well, but you can obviously hop into this. Jem,
Sure.
I know you're a man. Jem, I know you're a man of faith. My question here is, do you believe in destiny? Do you believe in everything? Whatever happens in your life was made to be. Do you believe in that?
I have it in two parts. I believe that you got to put in the work, but also there are so many things that I can't understand that have happened in my life. Crazy things, you can dream something, especially think something or dream something, or other people say manifest or pray. But so many things I cannot understand how it happened. Like I can plan everything and then those things don't happen, but something even bigger happens. Like there's definitely a higher force or a higher power creating, or if not creating, guiding my life. And so many things that have happened in my life, I would say when I was younger, like, I used to pray for these and they happened, and it's crazy. It's just crazy.
Okay, I like that. Jack, anything for you?
I can't. When I think about like a destiny thing, I think that like if I'm looking back to how like my past, and I'm like making a decision that will have like big implications on the rest of my life. A part of me is kind of like, if I made the decision at the time, it was never going to change. Like I had all of the information then, and I just made the call, and that's the decision that I made. Like I can't change that. So if I'm thinking about it in that way, then every decision I have in the future is going to be the same thing. Like I'm going to do the same thing in the future at the same time and think about it. I'll have other options. I'm going to make a decision, and then that's where my life is going to go. So like in that way, I suppose, like I do think that destiny is real, because not that it's like planned out in a way where I could like see the future or anything, but like because my past is set, my future has to be set in a certain way as well.
Yeah.
Even though I have no idea what's coming, and I have agency over my own decisions and stuff, but it does still feel like, because it's like that way, it's going to be that way.
Yeah.
You know?
I think
like
the
that.
exact same things. And then when things happen, I go, things are happening just the way they're meant to be. You know, things are happening the way it was supposed to be as well. And we all have a purpose. And I also believe if you do good, like right now, if you do good things and your you know,
Mama?
no, just your conscience is pure, your life will be a lot better. But if you're doing bad things right now, it's gonna go the other way as well. Like it'll come back to you for sure.
So like with what you're saying is kind of what my mindset is. So I believe there's multiple paths for a person. You can always
For sure.
switch up what path you're on. You could be doing all the most horrible things in the world, like had the worst upbringing, poorest upbringing, bad family, whatever. You could be on a bad path, right? But you can always switch paths.
Yeah, for sure.
Good, having that pure of heart, even like no, and that's the thing I like about the whole destiny part. Do I believe in destiny? I don't know. Like I do to a point, but I do believe there's multiple destinies. It just depends which path you're on, and you can always switch the trajectory, of that path and that destiny.
Exactly. With what I said, with you got pure conscious right now in the present. Yeah, because it's all about frequency and energy, and we always talk about that.
Yeah. No, I just want to switch it up a little bit, like just stretch as we normally do. Speaking of so Jack said his favorite part of the movie. What was your favorite part of the movie, Jem?
When Paul learns to ride the sandworm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bro, that was crazy. And then everyone's
That
like,
part rocks.
bro, it like how big the sandworm that he got first, and then he starts riding it. And yeah, what's the guy's name? He's
Still got
number one fan. He's like, it is him. Yeah, and he's just riding, and that is like an epic scene when he goes through, and everyone's just watching him. Like, wow, this guy that knew nothing about our life, now he's doing everything. Yeah,
My favorite part is, and I've already talked about this already, but like I just love Batista's scene where he smashed that guy's head in. The reason why I just keep thinking of like a workspace, just like I don't know. It was just for me, I just love that scene.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about when, in the same vein, when Fade, Austin Butler's character, like someone does something he doesn't like in the boardroom, and he just like cuts
And he
him.
slices them.
Yeah, it's like a lot of people are saying that this is like to Dune. This is like the Empire Strikes Back. Like it's like the really amazing Hallmark sequel, and it's funny that they're saying that because in the Empire Strikes Back, like Darth Vader is just like choking people out when he doesn't do what he wants them to do.
Yeah.
So like in this movie, it's the same because like Ravan is like bashing the guy's head in, and Fade Ruther is like stabbing people if they don't do what he wants.
Would you say Dune is like the adult version of Star Wars?
I would say it's like the father of Star Wars.
Okay,
really.
I like that. That's good. That's true.
Because it's like you can see how much it inspired it.
Yeah,
You
true.
know?
Because it was
It
older.
didn't. It's older. It's like Star Wars is a lot more positive than Dune is.
Yeah, that's true.
With the what I was saying before, but like the desert planet, the parents being killed by a evil force,
Yeah, true.
the forming a rebellion,
Yeah.
chosen one.
Chosen one
You
for
know?
sure. Yeah.
Yeah, like it takes a lot. It takes a lot from it, I think.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so father. I guess the adult version, yes. Father, though, specifically.
That's gonna be a hit
Okay.
clip on socials.
All right. So just to keep on, just to wrap up a little bit of Dune Part 2, what would you give it out of 5?
4.5.
Yeah, I was gonna say the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, 4.5.
I give it 4.5. If you haven't seen Part 1 though, because I have a lot of friends who have watched it and they haven't seen Part 1, they're just kind of going with the trend because it's like just
Popular.
It's getting big.
yeah.
Yeah.
But when they went to go watch it without watching number 1, they're just like, I don't understand anything, because you have to watch number
You
1.
need to at least watch like a YouTube summary.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
something
YouTube,
like that.
what happened in June 1?
Yeah. So if you're gonna watch Dune 2, please watch Dune 1. Otherwise, it will go down a little bit because you will just be giantly confused.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, four
Um,
and a
For
half.
sure.
Yeah. While we have talked about Batista a little bit, Elimination Chamber just came to Australia.
Mm-hmm.
So, did you watch it, Jim?
That was crazy. I watched the whole thing.
Yeah, Rhea Ripley. She
That was fun.
headlined
She
it.
won
Aussie of our own.
on home turf. Yeah.
I think I'm gonna ask this question because I know a lot of Australians are trying to be. I know there are a lot of amazing Australian athletes. Do you see anyone that could jump into a WWE ring with that charisma, more or less?
I haven't even.
This isn't an athlete, but when I was thinking about this before, could you imagine if like Hugh Jackman or something just got in there?
Yeah,
someone,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
playing,
Team
like,
WWE.
You know?
Yeah.
Like someone like that? Yeah. Like he's old as hell now, but he's still cut. Like he could come in and do like a little one exhibition. I
Yeah.
think he'd crush it.
He actually did so he actually did appear in WWE, like just
did
as
he?
a random
Oh, right.
yeah, as a random person just talking. But when
The-
because he's a big fan of WWE, so when
Right.
he was
I didn't
actually
even
in
know
the
that.
ring, he did like a whole stick and everything when he was I forgot who he was talking to. But he was talking to somebody and it was amazing. So you are right, like that was right on the button. He did
Yeah, damn.
when he did appear in WWE.
Charismatic wise,
Yeah,
if there
right.
was one Australian athlete, but not his size in that, but if there was charismatic wise, and he would be a really good heel, because if you loved him, he's one of those love to hate, hate to love kind of guys. Nick Kyrgios.
Oh, yeah.
that's
I can
so
see that,
good.
actually.
That is so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think my one would probably be Tai Tuivasa, just because he
Oh yeah,
has
Ty
like,
would be
that
really
look-
good
that-
too. Yeah. He should have
Like
joined
he's so lovable.
He should have joined the boys. What do they call the bloodline? He could
Oh,
join the
yeah.
bloodline. Yeah, 100%.
the-
Oh yeah, Ty.
Yeah, that's Oh, one last question for both of you. This is random, but it's actually because I don't really know much about it. What's happening with the whole TikTok thing?
Oh yeah. So yeah, Jack probably knows about this as well. TikTok in America they're trying through the courts, the House of Representatives and everything. They're trying to ban it from the US unless the owners, BitBite, I think that's what they're called, will sell TikTok to an American company or outside of China, because they believe that they are a threat to like the data and information that TikTok holds of all of us that are signed up to TikTok can be used against Americans. So yeah, it's already been passed through that they're gonna shut down TikTok if they don't sell it, because their own TikTok, I think it's BitBite or something, the parent company of TikTok, is actually owned by the CCP, the Chinese Communist Party. So they're very
It'll
worried.
be really interesting if that comes through, because like there are so many people that like make money off TikTok,
Yeah, for
but
sure.
just use TikTok so often
Yeah.
that like it's like a really like new example of product versus the government.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, like how like which way is it going to swing?
Yeah.
Because like I can really see this just getting like put in litigation hell for like years and nothing happens, and then it just gets dropped.
It might be one of the if the US government want it out, they'll banish it. But then
if they're serious about it,
they'll be out of it. But you know, I was telling PK before, if that happened, I know a lot of people would lose a lot of money in business, and because everything runs and is funded through TikTok. But you're just gonna have to pivot and go to whatever next social, or
they'll
go
just
back to
make a new
Instagram or
one.
whatever. Yeah, you gotta do the next thing. Attention will just go elsewhere. You just gotta
maybe it'll be
adapt.
how we all had Vine when we were in high school, and like TikTok will be the new Vine, and everyone will be like, then some new one will come out in 10 years, and they'll be like, it wasn't as good as TikTok.
Jack's talking about Vine being in high school. I swear Vine was just 10 years ago when we were when we were in America.
Yeah.
Vine in high school.
That's funny. That's funny. Yeah, well, that's the Curious Canvas. Anything else to add? Either of you guys?
Nah, thank you, Jack.
No, thanks to you,
No
Jack.
problem, man.
Hey.
Thanks for having me.
Jack,
You took that was amazing because you smashed it, because it was just with Dune, I feel like there's just so much information, and you definitely like led that whole way for both of us.
yeah, for sure.
You were the Paul. You were the
good.
Paul in this podcast.
Nice. I'll take it.
And Jem is Javier. He's the one.
He's the one. He's the guy.
He is the one.
Yeah. Well, I won't start burning down villages or nothing.
Thanks for joining
I won't
us.
let it get to my head. Yeah, no worries.
And
Thanks for having me.
guys, make sure to follow Jack at Bloom Sid. Him and the boys. He's
Picture
the lead drummer at
Parasites.
Bloom Sid. And make sure to follow at Picture Parasites. Yeah, and PK, thank you. You want to end it? You want to end it?
No, that was it.
Curious
if you go to Japan, make sure you hop on a bidet.
Hell yeah, dog.
See yous.
Oh, all right.